Okay, so I think we're good to go. I think we're ready to start. So what's the plan for the evening? This is going to be a 3-part workshop. So today is the first one, and the objective of today is going to be, first of all, talk a bit about what shadow work is, bringing light to the shadow self. That's the topic of the workshop. So first of all, what is all this about? What is this concept about? There's going to be time for some self-reflection, and we're going to do a shamanic journey, which is a type of guided visualization where we are going to relax and go deep into our psyche, into our subconscious, to get some insights, to get some information, and hopefully to release, to do some energy release, some energetic release. So let's start. Let's get to the point. So today we're going to be exploring everything about what shadow is. This is a very common topic. That can mean different things for different people, of course, but the way I see it is, as we grow, we experience different things. We face different challenges, we meet different people, we have different experiences, some of them pleasant, some of them not so pleasant and painful. With all these experiences, we learn lessons, but sometimes, especially when the experiences are painful or not that pleasant, they can leave an imprint in ourselves. So shadow work or the shadow parts will be those parts of ourselves that we haven't integrated properly, that we haven't healed properly. So for example, in a traumatic experience, I don't know, someone who was bullied at school, for example, that is painful. And as a child, sometimes you start absorbing beliefs that are not yours. Programs from society, and sometimes it is painful to integrate that, to heal that, and to do the work and to understand what's going on inside. Sometimes what we do is that we sweep under the carpet. That never happened, and we kind of separate ourselves. It's like hidden parts of ourselves that we don't want to touch on, because if we do, it's painful. So it's like wanting to find a treasure, because at the same time, our deepest wounds hide our strongest, our greatest treasures. So it's like wanting to find something very valuable in your house that you know is in the basement, where it's really dark and there are all these spider webs, and it is scary because it is unknown. And we are not familiar with that. But once you're there to go and you clean it, oh my God, the treasures you can't find. Or at least you just get rid of the crap that is no longer useful, right? So there will be a lot of parts hidden within us that might be stopping us from being in touch with our true self, with the part of ourselves that has our highest potential, the best we can be. So for that, we need to go into the basement. If we want to make space, right, for the treasures, for the beautiful parts, for our highest potential, we need to go and clean the basement. We need to release what's no longer serving us. And this can be limiting beliefs, this can be programs, this can be emotions, patterns that repeat again and again and again and again. And I always want to make a big difference between events and stories. An event is something that happened to us, something unpleasant, something painful. We have all experienced moments like that. But what really matters is the story that lives within us. And they are very different. We might have suffered a very painful moment. We might have been in traumatic relationships, toxic relationships, abuse, physical accidents, terrible things. that can be healed. Those are events. That doesn't define you. That's not who we truly are. That's something we had to face, a challenge we had to face to learn a lesson and integrate the wisdom. Now, if we keep telling ourselves the story that we are a victim, I was once betrayed, so that's why I'm never going to be able to find a loving partner. I was bullied at school, so I'm never going to get my confidence back. I'm never going to be able to succeed at my career. I had a lot of pain. No one loved me when I was a kid, so no one is ever going to love me. Those are stories, and those can be changed. Those can be released. Those can be transmuted, and we can learn the lessons. What we can do is change the events. That we can't do. What happened is what happened. But the way we feel about it, the way we relate, the story we tell ourselves about those events is something completely different. And when we don't want to, or we don't know to, or we don't know how to heal this, how to integrate this, how to let go, how to close the chapters, that gets stuck. That's energy that gets stagnant, and it gets stored in our energy field. We are not just the physical body, flesh and bone. We are much more than that. It gets stored, and that can manifest in negative patterns, even physical symptoms. And when we don't want to deal with it, or we don't know how to deal with it, or we think it's very painful to deal with this, I really don't want to, right? A lot of people tell me, but it will bring back lots of memories that I don't want to remember again because it's painful. Yeah, but if you don't do that work, it's like sweeping under the carpet. And those parts of ourselves that we ignore, that we don't deal with, that we don't heal, that we don't integrate, that becomes our shadow part. Why is it called shadow? Because it's kind of like in the dark, the basement, right? Where it's scary and no one wants to go. So this series of workshops is called Bringing Light to the Shadow Self, because the main objective is to become aware, or the first step, especially for this session, is to become aware. Bring light as in, let's have a look. Let's go to the basement and let's have a tiny look. Let's open the door a little bit, just a little bit for today, and see what's in there. You're not going to clear all the boxes and everything that is in the basement today or in 3 sessions. This is kind of a lifetime work, right? But let's get a torch and let's have a first look, and let's see what's in there. Because the problem is that if we don't become aware of them, they're still going to be there, and they're going to operate in our subconscious in the form of patterns we are not aware of, in the form of beliefs that program us to act in a different way, to get caught in the same type of toxic dynamics with people, in relationships, with family members, with friends, at work, etc., etc. So it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's like an iceberg. What you see is the peak, but all the rest that is under the sea, under the water, that's still there, and it's operating. And sometimes it's controlling and affecting our behaviors, our thoughts, our beliefs, how we feel, right? So we don't want, it's like programs in our computer that are slowing down your computer, and you think, what is slowing down my computer? This is, I don't know, is there a program that I no longer use? Maybe it was useful back in the day, but not anymore. So you have to clear them. But it's that feeling of, I really don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's actually operating. And that's what we want to, that's what we're going to address in these workshops. Now, just a warning to start with, shadow work is deep work. This is serious work. Like, this is not for the ones who scared easily. All the ones who joined today, I can see almost 30 people, brave people you are. brave people you are. And just the fact that you are here today, let's release expectations, right? So let's not try to, let's see if this solve my problems. Let's just try to raise awareness for now. Let's just try to become aware of what's going on for now, because this is a lifetime, a work of a lifetime, right? To release all these imprints, all these experiences. Yeah. So this is going to be kind of an introduction. Hopefully a great way to start. Hopefully it will give you a lot of insights and tools. That's my hope. That's my objective. But please be aware that shadow work, the way I understand it, you might do shadow work with other people or with other therapists, and they might understand it in a different way, and that's fine. The way, what I'm talking about here is deep work, and it takes time. And sometimes the first step is to become aware, but then we need to process it, right? And we need to heal it, to clear those imprints, to integrate the wisdom. That can take time. That can take time, to be ready to make space for the new, for new chapters, for new people, for new experiences, for new parts of ourselves that we didn't even know they existed, right? The shadow normally hides the brightest part of ourselves, right? So yeah, so just keep in mind that that this is deep stuff. That I think you're very brave for being here. And I think this is the only way to go. I think life is a school. We came here to learn. And especially with everything that is going on around us, like there is no time to waste. Like this is the time to heal, release, and elevate ourselves, guys. Like, and if we have all this baggage and all these imprints, that's going to slow us down. That's going to keep us in this endless low vibration system. We don't want that. It's time to release, become pure, so we are ready to just elevate from whatever drama, whatever nonsense is around. So if there were ever a time to do this work, it is now. That's for sure. Right. That's a lot of working, a lot of talking from me. So we're going to do some self-reflection now. One thing I forgot to mention, because I can see a lot of new names and faces. So thank you for the ones that come every week up to all the workshops. And thank you for the new ones that are taking part. Makes me so happy. So for the ones that maybe don't know that much about myself, just a couple of things so you understand where this comes from and what we're going to do. I originally trained as a counselor, and I started doing a lot of talking therapy, coaching, etc., etc. And that was very useful because it helps you raise awareness, you know, all the self-reflection, what's going on for me. Oh my God, I'm doing this. I have this pattern. I had no idea. It's very, very useful. And then I came across energy healing, and I realized that at some point talking is just not enough. You can talk about your problems for 20 years, but is that gonna transmute really your imprints? Maybe it is very useful. It can happen, but when you tackle these imprints, these stories at the level of the energy field, and you can visualize it as maybe pockets of energy, of dirty energy, or of darker energy, or stagnant energy in your energy field. Releasing those blockages at the energetic level can bring you the transformation that you would need, I don't know, 5 years to achieve with normal counseling or therapy. So yeah, super useful. First step, that's the first thing we need to do. But we have to go a bit deeper. So what I want to share with you today, it's a combination of all the tools, of all the techniques that I've been using, have helped me, that have helped my clients. So whereas in my one-on-one sessions, I would do more of a hands-on approach, right? So directly understanding the person, perceiving the energy field, where are these imprints. The visualization we're going to do today is also very powerful. It's a self-healing technique, let's say. So the visualization we're going to do is a shamanic journey. Shamanic journey, when you hear about it, don't think we're going to travel anywhere or anything fancy. It's just a type of guided visualization where we enter a meditative state, we relax our brain, and we don't get information from here, but we go deep into our psyche. We go deep into ourselves, into the basement. And from there, it's much easier to release, to visualize that transmuting, to visualize that clearing. And it can have really, really powerful effects. Really, really powerful effects. So I would definitely recommend that you make yourself comfortable, make sure that you have time to relax, that you are not going to be disturbed, because normally the insights and the information you get, and sometimes the energy release that happens can have strong results, and maybe you will feel it even the day after. Sometimes after these sessions, some people have contacted me like, I feel a bit like I had a bit of a hangover feeling, or I'm tired, or it's normal. It is normal. When energy moves, the body needs a bit of time to adjust. The body is a bit denser, so it needs a bit longer to adjust and to integrate and incorporate the changes. So I'm going to share some questions with you for self-reflection. So let me share that, and I'm going to go to the chat because I can see some questions. So I'm going to go to that in a minute. Right. So you should be seeing my screen now. Let me check in the other. Right. Okay. So how do we find out about our shadow parts? Because some of them are kind of obvious, like we know already. I know I know this story, this chapter, I would need to close it. It's not really helping me. I know this part of me is not the purest it could be, but some of them are not that obvious. So some questions here for self-reflection. What triggers me the most? And this is probably the most important one, because what triggers you, and by trigger I mean having an emotional reaction, is normally something that needs to heal, that needs attention. When we have a very strong emotional reaction to something, and it's like a resort, we know that there is something there that needs work. It's the way our body has to say, hello, there's something to work on here. There's something to do here. So I know this is annoying, but it is one of the best questions you can ask yourself to understand the shadow parts, or to find the shadow parts. Another one, what annoys me the most from other people? Because again, when we see normally what happens with the shadow parts is that because we are not aware of them, we project them onto other people. So for example, if I think, I can't deal with selfish people, I just can't deal with them. If it's something that annoys me so much, if it's something that triggers me that much, it's because maybe there's a part of me that it is selfish. And I don't see it in myself, but I do see it in other people. It's like a mirror, right? All the relationships, especially partners, relationships are the best way to grow, because they're like a mirror. They show you everything you don't like about yourself. That is so annoying, isn't it? But it's also a great way to heal, a great way to grow, because it shows you, it reflects back all those things that drive you mad about your partner. Look inside, and there is always something that maybe it's already within. Again, I can stand people who complete that sentence. And I like to reframe, for example, if I can deal with people who are very selfish, reframe it and think about it as, right, I really hate people that are very, very selfish. I can't deal with them. It's so unfair, blah, blah, whatever the narrative is. And then reframe it. I am selfish when I can deal with people that lie. I hate liars. I really can't stand people who lie, right? Have I ever lied? Or have I been lied to? What is there? My biggest challenges in life have been or are. Because again, sometimes there is a theme.
Be quiet
for a topic.
Okay.
That repeats again and again. So think about the biggest challenges, problems, patterns, unpleasant or negative experiences that repeat again and again and again. Because there's always something in there that, again, is telling us there's work to do here. So I'm just going to leave you 5 or 10 minutes to reflect on these questions while I go to the chat. And if you have any questions, please unmute yourself.
You can come and go out.
I'm trying to see if I can mute, because there is someone with the microphone on and we can hear them talking, but right now I don't know how to mute. I think I have to go to participants here. Right, so I think I've muted everyone for now. But if someone wants to ask any questions, please unmute yourself. And I'm going to go to the chat and see what's going on here. Right, some problems with the audio. Lisa, I hope you're in the call and are able to hear now. Thank you so much for explaining the difference between stories and events. It makes perfect sense at the moment. Glad you like it. First, there is awareness. Right, I don't understand this thing about triggers, what annoys us and what's inside us. So think about it as a wound. Imagine a cut in your hand. And you cut your hand, and instead of healing it, right, and taking care of it, and putting some lotion, disinfecting it, and letting it heal, you just put something on it. And with time, it gets infected. You ignore it and you get on with your day, and the dust gets in, and it gets to a point where it gets infected. And then suddenly someone touches you slightly and you're like, oh, that really hurt. That really, really hurt. So it's the same when we experience negative or unpleasant or painful experiences. If at the time, because it's very painful, we decide to just look the other side and ignore it and don't go back to it, and we don't express ourselves, we don't express our emotions, whatever emotions were caused by a painful event. Like, for example, when someone passes away is hard, and we need to allow us time to grieve and to experience that sadness and that anger and even moments of fear. What's going on, right? So with painful experiences, or in a relationship, when someone breaks up with us, oh my God, and they break your heart, how painful is it? It's painful. If we don't allow ourselves to heal that and to grieve that properly, we say, I'm fine. This never happened. I'm totally fine. That's like sweeping under the carpet. That's letting the wound get infected instead of cleaning it. Yeah, when you clean a wound, it can be painful, right? If you put a bit of alcohol to clean it, does that sting? It does, doesn't it? But it needs to be done. It needs to be done. It needs to be processed. It needs to be integrated so it can heal. And yeah, you might leave a scar. You might leave a scar, and that's our memories. That's the event, the past event. This happened to me. It might leave a scar, but it's not infected anymore. So what I mean by something triggering us or something annoying us is that there is a wound that didn't heal, and now someone is touching an infected wound, and as soon as they say something to you, it's like, wow, that hurts. So in a simpler example, with relationships, it's probably much easier. So let's say that when I was a child, no one loved me at home. I grew up with no love. No one took care of me properly. And because as a child, obviously, I didn't know how to process that, because how would you? How would I? Because I didn't know how to process that, how to integrate that, how to heal that. Maybe I just understood my beliefs, my programs, etc., were that I'm never going to be loved. I don't deserve love. I'm not worthy of love, because no one ever showed me what love is, right? So I learned, right, this is not for me. 30, 40, 50 years later, I'm trying to find a partner because it's what society tells me that is the right thing to do, or what everyone else around me does. And I think, I want to be in a relationship. And what happens then? Then I'm dating someone, and as soon as I see something that I don't like in them, I think they're going to abandon me. I think I'm not good enough for them. So maybe I'm dating someone and they don't call me the day after our date, and I get super, super upset, and I think, oh my God, no one's ever going to love. That's triggering. The reaction is not proportional to what happened. You know, it's triggering something that needs attention, that needs to be healed. I don't know if I made it even more complicated than it sounded at the beginning. Hopefully that was useful. I'm just going to the chat to see if there are any more comments. Right. Gillian wrote something very interesting here, so I'm going to share it with the group. I personally understand the whole idea about triggers because they usually reveal more about our personalities and experiences than is commonly assumed. However, I'm wondering if there is a way to tell apart different types of triggers. For instance, I'm sure there are plenty of triggers which are basically just projections of our less appealing characteristics onto others, but I really feel as though a lot of triggers aren't so much what's part of our own personalities, as it is certain personality traits that, say, our families, for example, our parents, projected onto us, certain values or even fears they drill into us. I'm going to make a break here. Yes, definitely. A lot of those shadow parts will be the result of our parents projecting fears onto us, our school teachers telling us this is what you need to do, these are the rules, about TV telling us this is what you need to do, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. So yeah, they get stored in ourselves, but of course they are the result of interacting with especially family members, because I mean, especially as children, we are like a sponge. So it's when we absorb everything. And because as kids, we don't, right now as an adult, you think, right, I have a problem, well, I'm going to go to a therapist or a healer. I'm going to sort out my life. So I'm going to go to a professional to help me, or I'm going to buy this course and I'm going to buy this book and I'm going to do the inner work. As a child, you don't know how to do that. So it's when most imprints get stored, right? Yeah, things that go back to my childhood. So yes, an idea. Right, this is a good question. It's also worth asking if we should put much work into telling the difference between implemented triggers and triggers which reflect lesser characteristics about ourselves, especially if they can become so entangled within us over time. The thing is that because we don't come to this lifetime as a blank canvas, all the experiences we face, all the challenges we face, maybe are just imprints that are repeating from before. So we come with kind of a blueprint. We are not a blank canvas. We come with a blueprint already of karmic patterns, of karmic imprints that give us the lessons we need to learn, the challenges we're going to have to face in this lifetime. So I understand the point of some of the beliefs, for example, weren't mine, because yeah, maybe it was a program that it was installing you. But why did I have those parents in the first place? Maybe it was a relationship with my partner was very abusive, but why did I get stuck to that relationship in the first place? So everything that is within us is ours, regardless of where it came from or what the experience was. The important thing is that it is there. If it's holding us back, it needs to be released, it needs to be healed, and let's learn the lesson. So that would probably be the simplest way I can describe it, without getting stuck in, yeah, but it was my father that never showed me love, yeah, but it was my mother that treated me so badly, yeah, but it was this guy that broke my heart. It's kind of irrelevant. What is key, what is relevant is, what did that live in me? What is the imprint? What is the story that I'm carrying? Let's bring light to it. Let's become aware of it. Let's heal it. Let's release it. Let's transmute it. And let's learn the lesson. And I know it can be challenging because many people face many difficult and painful experiences. And I'm not saying it's not fair or that you deserve it. No. But there is always a lesson to learn. Always a lesson to learn. And I think that's what's very important. Right. Right. Megan said, made sense, right? So I'm happy I made it even more complicated than it was at the beginning. What about what annoys us about other people? It's a similar concept. So imagine there is something in us. For example, being selfish. Let's say I never had any money in my family when I was a child, and I was raised in scarcity. So I became a bit, selfish, and I don't want to share anything with anyone, but I don't want to admit it. It's not that I don't want to admit it. Maybe I'm not even aware of it, but that's how I grew up. And that's the belief system that was kind of installed in my psyche. Right? And I'm not even aware that I'm selfish. I'm not even aware that I don't know how to share, that I have a scarcity mindset, because it's buried under the carpet. And not being aware of this, I see people around and I'm triggered by people who are very rich. I think, oh, look at those rich people. It's so unfair. They have so much money. And I get very, very jealous. There's something with money that is already inside me. Or I complain because people are very selfish. Oh, they don't share anything with me. So the question would be, do I share anything with people? So what you see, let's also think about it as kind of resonating. You attract what you resonate with. So sometimes we attract someone with something that has something we already have inside us, precisely because it's going to help us heal it, because it's going to act as a mirror and show us this is what is in you. And it's shocking and it annoys you because it's there inside. but you're not aware of it. So that's why it annoys you, because it's like, it's there, but I don't identify why. And especially when it triggers, when it annoys us really, really badly, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have the same negative trait, for example. It can be just triggering a wound. It can be different things. But sometimes we do project that into others. And it's the same with positive things. I had a session with a client the other day, and I said, well, we always talk about the shadow and projecting the shadow onto others. But it's the same with the positive things. We were talking about finding the life purpose and her gift and what she can share with the world. And I said, well, think about what you admire in others, because what you admire in others, you already have within. So sometimes what you admire in others is also your gift. And that's why you see it. That's why you see it. That's why it calls to you. That's why it catches your eye, because it's already within you. So it's not only for the shadow, it's also for the good parts, because you resonate with it. You feel attracted to someone you like because you resonate with it. There's something already in there. And same with the, I want to call it negative, pleasant, unpleasant, that difference. So I hope that helped. That was again a lot of talking that I wasn't planning to do. So let's stop here. I hope you got some insights from this moment of self-reflection. And now it's time to go deep. Now it's time to relax and for some action. So make yourself comfortable. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to see you guys and I want you to see me. Right. So we're going to do the visualization now, the journey now. So if you want to turn your cameras off, if you want to lie down, that's perfectly fine. Please mute your, I think I muted everyone, but please check that you're mute so we don't hear background noise, especially during the visualization. And let's start finding that comfortable position. Let's start by closing our eyes. Starting to bring the awareness to the present moment. Bringing the attention inwards. Taking a deep breath. Taking deeper and longer inhalations and exhalations. Expanding the belly with each inhalation. Relaxing the abdominal area. We tend to accumulate a lot of tension here. So really filling up the body with air, the lungs, the belly, and taking conscious exhalations, setting the intention to release any tension with each exhalation. If any thoughts arise that are not relevant to this session, just don't engage with them. Keep focusing on your breath and see them going like clouds in the sky. And now visualize yourself in a beautiful meadow. It's a sunny day, the sky is blue. The grass has a bright green color. In the distance, you see a tree. It's a huge tree, very tall tree, so high that its branches touch the sky, and its roots go deep into Mother Earth. You walk towards the tree, touch it with your hand, and merge with it. Visualize yourself inside the trunk of this beautiful tree. Today, we're going to journey to the lower world, our history. So visualize how the roots take you down into the earth, deep into the earth, to an underground river. You lie down here, feeling the cool water washing away any dirty energy. You let yourself float and let the current take you all the way down to a beautiful garden. When you arrive at the shore of this garden, step out of this river and start walking along this beautiful garden. This is your unique garden. A place when you can come for healing, to find wisdom, to find peace. Have a look around and enjoy the images, the sounds, the smells, the animals, the plants, the flowers. And in the distance, you see a cave. You start walking towards this cave and enter it. Start to get used to the energy here. And you see that there is like a luminous whiteboard waiting for you, like a projector. And you ask to be shown whatever it is that you need to let go of. Beliefs, roles, old stories, old emotions, experiences that you need to let go of to thrive. And you might start seeing some images in the whiteboard, maybe a clip of a past experience. Whatever the format is, images, words, messages, sensations, whatever it is, don't judge, just observe. You are just an observer in this chamber. And now visualize that you have a silvery violet flame in your hand, a luminous flame of silver violet color in your hand. And whatever appears in front of you in the whiteboard, use this flame in your hand to transform, transmute, and heal all those imprints, all those beliefs, all those roles, all those stories that are not in your highest interest, that are no longer serving you. Not trying to delete the events, trying to release the imprints, to heal the wounds. That's what we're going to do here today. One image after another, one belief after another. If you clear one, there might be another one that comes up. Keep erasing them with this silver violet flame. Transmuting the imprint, clearing the imprint. If some of them are not fully released or transmuted, that's fine. We might need more time. That's okay. You can come back here another time and continue the work. Let's take a final moment to transmute any final images or messages or sensations that we want to clear. And now visualize yourself receiving a shower of white light. Filling up the spaces that these imprints might have left in your energy field. Any pockets of energy that might have been released, any imprints, any energy that might have moved within you, that might be releasing within you. Visualize a shower of white light washing all that away, washing it away. Filling you with healing energy and unconditional love. If any emotions came up, seeing some of these images, some of these parts of ourselves, some of our shadow, that's perfectly normal. Visualize this shower of white light washing that away. Transmuting those negative or unpleasant emotions. Let it harmonize your body, your mind, your heart. And now bringing the awareness again to the whiteboard, to the projector. Ask to be shown the wisdom from these stories, from these imprints, from these shadow parts that you have cleared, that you have transmuted? What are the lessons that you have learned? What is the wisdom that you have now? In every single experience, as difficult, as painful as it might have been, there is always a lesson to learn, always. And it can become part of your personal wisdom, a treasure to share with others. So again, you might see some images or words or messages. Maybe just the feeling of completion, whatever feels right for you. Maybe you just feel relieved right now, and that's fine. Whatever feels right for you. You can bring your hands to your heart if that feels right, with the intention of integrating this wisdom, this knowledge, these lessons. Let's take a final moment so you can be shown some more lessons or wisdom. Beautiful. And really connecting with a deep feeling of gratitude for this journey, for this healing experience, for integrating this knowledge. It is now time to leave the cave and go back to your garden, walking towards the river where you came from. Again, swimming in the water. And receive a final cleanse here. One more cleanse here. Let the water use its healing energy to wash away any dirty energies, any residues that might remain in your energy field. Especially any unpleasant emotions that might have come up during this journey. Let the current take it away. Let the water wash it away. Feeling fresh, energized, renewed. Ready for new wonderful experiences and chapters in your life. And let yourself float in this water and let it take you back to the tree, all the way up to the roots of the tree. Finding yourself inside the trunk of the tree, stepping out of it, and back to the original meadow where we started our journey. Taking a deep breath. Throwing a big smile on your face. Big smile on your face. Feeling grateful for this experience. Knowing that you have released many things that weren't serving you. Knowing that you are now open for more joyful and beautiful experiences. And let's slowly bring our awareness back to the physical body now. To the room you're in, to this workshop. Starting to move your hands, your toes, slowly. Maybe taking a deep stretch if that feels right for you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and meet me back in the screen. Coming back to this workshop. Give me a sign that you guys are alive and well. I can see some hearts and thumbs up, so. Right. I'm gonna leave at least a few minutes, at least 5 minutes. So you can do some journaling if that feels right. That was probably a deep experience. So, and if it wasn't, that's also fine. Whatever came up for you, just welcome it. Just welcome it. And sometimes some of the images we see, or sometimes, you know, some of the insights, some of the messages we receive in these journeys, doing these visualizations, don't make much sense. And we think, what? Where did that come from? That's great. That's great. It means that you weren't thinking from the logical mind. That means that the mind switched off. So that's really great. But write it down so you don't forget. And yeah, sometimes later you think, oh, that makes sense now. So whatever came up, don't judge it. Don't try to rationalize it or overanalyze it. Just let it sit within you. And I know that when we do this type of visualization, especially when we are trying to see unpleasant experiences, right? It can be painful. It can bring up a lot of emotions. So if you cried, that's perfectly fine and perfectly normal. If you feel a bit not at ease, let's say, because something moved inside, just allow yourself time to be with you. Be patient. This is deep stuff. So it is very normal to just want to take the rest of the evening off, or the day. It's 7 p.m. here in the UK. Maybe it's the morning if you're in the US. Take the rest of the day off. Go slow, move slow, go slowly, right? No rush. I normally say when you do this type of workshop or this type of work, don't book a night out after this. Don't go for, don't go to a party or go for drinks, because you're probably going to be all zoned out, and so might not be the best combination. Another recommendation I can give is to keep processing and integrating the healing, and especially the energy release. If you have a bath at home, it's perfect to have a bath with salt, especially unrefined sea salt. It has very, very cleansing properties. So you sit in the bath with salt. You can add tea tree oil, also very cleansing, lavender essential oil. You can add baking soda, just with the idea of continue releasing the energy and get the energy moving. And it feels amazing. You're going to feel so relaxed. So it's a good combo, I would say. Right, so I'm going to have a look at the comments here. Right, I can see some lovely comments here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's my absolute pleasure. I'm really glad you liked it. Hannah says, what if you fall asleep? Then it means there's what you needed. Maybe what your body needed is just to relax and get a good rest. Sometimes we're not able to get a good rest at night because we got to bed and we're very active in the mind. So sometimes you do one of these visualizations, you're like, oh my God, I fell asleep. Fine. Perfectly fine. Sometimes you're asleep, but somehow you're still listening to the voice. So it might be the case that you were still doing some work or some release even if you fall asleep. Of course, if you want to get more of the insights and the integrating or understanding what it is, if you fall asleep, then you just play the recording again. But yeah, no big deal. It means that is what you needed to do, what your body needed to do. So thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Right, questions. Emilia says, I'm blown away by this and laughing at myself. I do want to share. So I'm going to share it. Great. I haven't, is this share with everyone? Right, okay. Just wanted to make sure that you share with everyone. I happened to erase my small boobs. Great start. This came out of the blue and I started laughing. By now I understand what it is about. I'm totally cool with it. My question is, I didn't expect to erase physical trait. Am I still with this program? I mean, if you still have a program, only you will know based on how you feel about it. For example, when you look at yourself in the mirror, for example, when you wear a tight dress, right? So you will know. You will know. The fact that it came up, and by the way, we are not deleting or erasing like that part of yourself or a physical trait. It's just the relationship or the idea we have about a part of ourselves, a part of our body. We all have that. We all hate one part of our body. Oh, I hate my eyes, I hate my hair, I hate my hips, I hate my legs, my long arms, whatever it is, right? And sometimes we're not aware of it. But people consider you hide it with your clothes, for example. So if that appeared out of nowhere, it's because there was something ready to be released. So I wouldn't overthink it. Maybe it was something lingering, you know, that it was ready to be released, that it was ready to come to the surface. And what you are erasing or transmuting is the relationship you have with it, with your small boobs, with whatever the part of your body is, or if it's another person, or if it's a past event. It's the same for everything, really. That's what we are transmuting. Any negative imprint, any negative thoughts, programs, whatever that might be there, ready to be released. So see how you feel about it. It could happen that you feel totally different about your body from now on. It could be that there is something deeper, and this was just like, hello, I'm here. This needs work. Hello, I'm asking for your attention, right? So you know that the program is released when you feel different about something, when you behave differently about something. That's when you truly know that you suddenly start seeing things change. I used to react this way and I don't do anymore. Boom, then you know whatever the program, whatever the story, whatever it was released. Let me go back to the chat. Let's go again. Yeah, this is, let me see, because I don't want to miss any questions. Thank you so much, guys, for all the lovely comments. It means the world to me. I'm not going to read them all out loud, but it's my joy to have you here. And if you enjoyed it, it makes me so happy. Let's go again. Emilia says, this journey is something, it's going to be recorded. And I have journeys like this and visualizations like this, loads in my YouTube channel. or in my Telegram channel, or if you're in my list, I'm always sending new content, new meditations. So do it again. If you do this journey, I mean, every day I would say it's a bit too intense. Personally, I wouldn't do it every day unless you're in a very, what's the word I want to use? Like you're in this momentum of, I want to do a lot of healing. I really want to go deep. But yeah, it's not something you do every day. But if you do it once a week, you will see different things. You will see different stories, you will see different roles, and you think, am I ever going to end? Am I ever going to go to the cave and see that there's nothing there to release? I don't know. I haven't experienced that. I don't know anyone who has. So they will be probably floating away and in another dimension right now, if that were the case, I suppose. So there will always be something. And sometimes we see the same thing again and again and again. You think, oh, I thought it was released. So don't think it didn't work. We did a part. But maybe if you see it again, it just means that it needs a bit more work. Maybe there are more lessons that you still need to learn, and that's why it's still lingering. It shows whatever is ready to be released. And of course, imagine some deep trauma, some deep experiences that we all carry, some deep imprints, long-term imprints, lifetimes of making the same mistake. Imagine, we do this a lot. We make the same mistake again and again and again and again. And you don't learn the lesson and you carry it to the next lifetime. And then the challenges are bigger because life wants you to learn the lesson. You're like, no, never mind. More challenges, more unpleasant experiences until you wake up, until you realize, until you learn the lesson. So things like that, let's be honest, it's unlikely that you are going to heal and transmute something like that in one visualization. You can start becoming aware of it. You can release part of it, whatever part is ready to be released. But it will probably be more of a starting point than something that clears the whole imprint. Imprints like that, even when I do my one-on-one sessions, it can take a few sessions for one of those imprints to fully be released. More than a few sessions. A lot of work, right? So there is a lot we can do with these self-healing techniques. And that's why I love to share them with you, because I know they work. I know they can get you results. But at the same time, you have to be aware that there are some very, very deep imprints that might need coming back a few times, a few visualizations. Maybe it will never come up in a visualization. Maybe you will need to go to someone, to a professional, so they can see this is the imprint, so they can mirror you, so they can help you become aware of the shadow. The deepest shadow work I've done for myself, I've done it with therapists, I've done it with healers. I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. Sometimes it's very difficult to see our shadow parts. We see it very easily in others, not that easily in ourselves sometimes. It's tricky. And like, for example, when, I don't know, typical example, a friend who always dates the worst guys or the worst girls, and they're always getting stuck in these dramatic, toxic relationships, and you think, oh, it's so obvious. It's so obvious that they have a problem, that they have an issue, that they have a wound, that they haven't healed, and they keep getting stuck with these terrible people that hurt them again and again and again. And you're there like, oh, this is what you need to do. And you know exactly what they need to do. You're like, oh, they don't do them. But how about our relationships? It's easy to give advice to other people. It's easy to identify patterns in other people, but sometimes not that easy to see on yourselves. So that's why many things would be ready to be released. Some things will come up. Some of them won't on our own. Some of them will be like a first part to get our attention, but there's more work to do. So be patient with these guys, because this is like a lifetime, never-ending, growing journey, right? So, right, I'm going to go back to the chart because I think there are more questions. I don't know what I say. Right. Thank you, guys. Right, someone said I fell asleep. Perfectly fine. Try to avoid releasing what's bothering me. It could be. It could be. A bit of resistance, maybe. Right, there is a message here that was directly to me, so I'll have a look at that later. How would a therapist mirror? I don't know if that's a typo. For the client to see. Well, because like I said, it's sometimes it's much easier to see the patterns in other people and how they get stuck in toxic relationships, for example, how they sabotage themselves. It's very easy to see, for example, the typical friend or family member that has a lot of potential, but they're always sabotaging themselves and they're not even aware. So by working with someone who understands what you're doing, sometimes just by asking you questions, they can bring your awareness to things you do. Right, so this has happened to you, fine. Is it the first time it happens to you? How many times has it happened to you? Well, actually, it's not the first time. Right, tell me more about when did it start happening? Well, actually, it has happened several times. Right. What are you achieving with this? How are you stopping, or what are you not achieving by having this behavior? By keeping stuck in this pattern. And it can bring a lot of self-exploration that on your own it will be difficult to do. From my experience, I've had some interesting, as a client, I've had a lot of interesting questions from my therapists or healers saying, this is how I see it. Or you told me this 3 sessions ago, or asking me questions that made me go, right? So it's all about like helping you just be aware. And from there, you can start the healing process and the releasing process. Right. The only experience of the cave was an ancestor, but there was no message. Any ideas? Yeah, I can think of a few ideas. For example, one of the things that that I do in my sessions is ancestral constellations. So it's all about kind of enabling a conversation between us and our ancestors. And us, by ancestors, I mean any part of our lineage or even family members that are still alive. So one of the things I can recommend is think about this ancestor, think about this person, and really close your eyes and tune into their energy, into this person, like trying to become them, right? What would they say to you? What message would they have for you? And try to write it, because sometimes a lot of people are very visual and they get like a lot of images or sensations, but not many people are. Everyone perceives things differently. So automatic writing is one of the best things you can do. Try to tune in with this ancestor and ask questions. What do you have to tell me? What are you here to teach me? Why now? Why today? Why in this visualization? Is there anything you want to tell me that you didn't? Is there anything I need to know? And try to, make space for yourself, light a candle, make it like a ceremonial ritual thing. really tune into maybe you can find an object that represents them, grab that object, really connecting with the energy of the ancestor. And by automatic writing, I mean, don't think too much about it, just whatever comes through. Write. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it has typos, just write whatever comes up. Try that and see if it gives you any insights. Emilia, what can I do daily to cleanse or at least keep it going? Well, do one of the meditations in the, you did the program, the 6-week online program that I have, Awakened Souls. And I recorded a beautiful 10-minute meditation that has cleansing, protection, connection with your higher self. So do that visualization every day. Or if you don't want to follow along a recording, just visualizing yourself, you can do the journey to your garden on your own. Just memorize it, go to the meadow, to the tree, down the river, arrive in your garden and ask for healing. Connecting with the earth, visualizing that shower of white light. Visualization is really, really powerful, guys. Really, really powerful. So you can do it. You can do it on your own. You don't need to follow a video or a recording. You can do it anytime, basically. So thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm just reading all the messages in case I'm missing any questions. Right. Thank you so much for your lovely comments, for your kindness. So what's next? Almost 1 hour and 20 minutes, for God's sake. I always say, no, it's going to be 50 minutes, 1 hour. Will I ever finish my workshops on time? I don't think so, because there is so much to say. There is so much work to do. So very quickly to finish, because I understand that you don't want to spend your whole evening here stacking the laptop. Part 2. We have part 2 next Wednesday. We are going to continue releasing, understanding a bit more about our shadow parts, stories, etc., etc. Part 3 was supposed to be the following Sunday, but I might be away next weekend. I might have to travel, so I might have to change that one to maybe Tuesday or Wednesday the following week. I will let you know tomorrow. This session has been recorded, so I will send the recording tomorrow in case you want to have it to do the visualization again, the questions, the self-reflection questions again. Go to my YouTube channel. I have lots of other videos, meditations, visualizations on different topics. In the meantime, although you might want to break from me, we're going to see each other on Wednesday again. Anything else? Right. I just want to share here. Let me see if I can copy this. My Telegram channel and my website. So I have a channel where I share a lot of content. I will share the recording from today, for example. Let me see if I can copy here. There you go. Right, just checking the last messages. So join that channel because I'm always sharing information, new meditations, new recordings. I always talk about when my next events are going to be, and you can also ask questions. And this 3-part workshop, for example, has happened or is happening because a lot of people ask, I want to do shadow work. I don't understand. How can I do shadow work? How can I work on my shadow self? So you ask, you receive. I'm here to serve you, so let me know. So you can also ask any questions, make suggestions, requests, and there are lots of interesting questions and chats in there. So do join. And that's my website for any other information in case you're interested in if you want to go deeper and you're interested in the deeper online programs that I have, the one-on-one sessions that I do. I also have a blog with lots of articles, a vlog with with latest videos. So go have a look. And if you have any questions, between now and Wednesday, feel free to contact me and let me know. Right. Okay. So that's all for me. All from me today. It's been a pleasure to be here with you guys. So sending lots of love and see you Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Veronica.
My pleasure.
Have a lovely weekend from Anne-Marie and I.
You too. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.